Hey everyone, so today we're going to be talking about Socratic Seminars. So we're going to start off with talking about what they are. So Socratic Seminars are essentially just gigantic class discussions where students are able to present their ideas on a text that they've been working on. And it can be anything from a book to an article that they've read, anything relating to the topic that you've been covering. So this can be the whole class that's involved in the Socratic seminar, or just a small group of students. And so this gives students a chance to observe or participate directly. It's up to you as the teacher, and you just have to explain that ahead of time, what the plan is. So as a teacher, you just sit in the middle and you facilitate the discussion. So students have conversations and they're discussing their ideas together. They do not answer directly to the teacher. When the teacher asks questions, it's to all of the students, and whenever the student answers, it's to all of the students. The only reason the teacher is there to make sure that the conversation continues. It's not to become part of the discussion, because you don't want to be presenting your own ideas when you want to be seeing what your students have understood from everything that they've talked about. So this can last for about 30 to 90 minutes. So you just need to keep in mind as a teacher that you need to have questions ready to go. So know the topic well that you're going to be covering, and try to write down as many questions as you can before going into the seminar. And during the seminar, take note of who's participating, make questions as you go about things that are being talked about. So it's a lot of work ahead of time just to make sure the students have a good experience in the Socratic seminar. So like I said, it gives students a chance to express their opinions and ideas among their peers in a respectful way. You're also there to make sure that the conversation stays kind and appropriate, and it doesn't lead to any harsh words between students because of ideas that are being expressed. So these are some steps to having the seminar. So this is from the textbook, but this isn't word for word from the textbook. This is paraphrased from the textbook. First off, you have to find a text that's open-ended. If you find a text that's not open-ended, has a clear-cut answer, you're not going to have a Socratic seminar, because it's not going to last long enough. Because if every student agrees, then it's just a conversation about how you agree. Second, give the students multiple days to review the text. You don't want to give it to them that day and be like, here you go, try to figure out what you're talking about while we're having this conversation. You want to give them to them a few days before so they can go home and talk to their parents about it. They can talk to other adults about it, talk to their peers about it, anyone that they feel the need to, and they can go and study more about that specific topic so that they know and are ready for the discussion. So you're going to put chairs in a circle layout so that students can look at each other when they're having this conversation and not be looking at the back of each other's heads. You want to give the students a main focus question to begin the discussion and return back to it when the discussion begins to lag. So I have a suggestion of giving that focus question a few days prior so they at least know what the main idea is that they're going to be starting off with. So they're not going in, sitting down, getting this question, and there's a whole bunch of silence for a long time. You want them to be able to express their opinion and just start talking. As a teacher, you also want to notice who's participating and who's not participating, and because sometimes students can overtake conversations and it makes it a little hard for other students to be able to get a word in. So just making sure that you're having a conversation, not one student talking for half an hour. And reminding your students to cite evidence for what they've read in the text is also important. If they're not citing evidence, then you don't know if their opinion's valid or not. So just reminding them that that's what we're trying to accomplish during this. And then you want to give a closing question to encourage students to connect their thoughts to other materials that they've read. This can be a closing question that you come up with ahead of time, or it can be one that you form during the discussion while the students are discussing. But you want to make sure it relates back to everything that's been talked about and essentially brings the conversation full circle and allows the students to take everything that they've talked about and express that again. And then afterwards, you want to have the students reflect. It could be just journal entries that they're writing. They could write a paper about what they've talked about, anything like that. But just making sure that they have time to express, this is what I now understand about this and this and this. Okay, so these are example starter questions for a Socratic seminar. These are just questions that I came up with based on my education that I've had. So one of the things we talked about a lot in English in high school was banned books. There's so many that have been banned throughout the United States throughout history. So a possible question could be, many books have been banned throughout history for various reasons. Given we just read a book that has been banned, do you think banning books in public education is justified? Explain your reasoning and be sure to cite evidence from articles that we've read. So in that, just making sure that they have articles to go off of, that they understand the book well enough that they can talk about the topic. When I was writing this question, it was mainly in relation to Kill a Mockingbird, because that's been banned in so many schools. And then another possible question would be, there's been talk of removing national monuments in the United States. Do you think this is justified or not? Explain your reasoning. And so just having articles ready for them to read, having a few days so that they can look over everything, study everything, highlight, annotate, anything to do with the articles, and go talk and have those discussions with people that they trust, so that they come back and they're just ready to talk about what they understand now. So in a Socratic seminar, it's just the students presenting what they know. It's not a presentation, but in a way it is. It's just a conversation presentation. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. But thanks!